Hello and welcome to episode 10 of the Immortal Index podcast, where we talk things all about Xianxia, Wuxia, and of course Xuanhuan. So today is a really cool episode because I reached out to one of the original authors that you can find her works all over the web through Amazon or Wuxia World, TinaLynge. She has been the author of Blue Phoenix, of Overthrowing Fate, Condemning the Heavens. Check out her Patreon at patreon.com/TinaLynge. You'll probably have seen her in the Discord channel. She's very active in the community. It's really cool. I'm really excited. I'm also going to be reading the first chapter of Condemning the Heavens later on the show, as well as talking about our poll for the week. The poll for the week is, what's your favorite aspect of powering the MC, the main character? The options are perceiving laws, bloodlines, special items, or secret magic. You can check that out on the Twitter page for Immortal Index. That's at Immortal Index. Also, be sure to subscribe, hit that like button on YouTube, and if you have a moment to go to iTunes, search Xianxia or search Immortal Index, and leave me a rating and comment on iTunes, 5 stars if you could, and I'll definitely give you a shout out on the show. But without further ado, I want to thank Tina for taking the time to come on the show. Thank you so much for being here with me.
Well, thank you very much for having me. I'm very honored.
So, first off, I'm always interested to hear about how people get involved in this community, or how they find their first novel. So, what was the first novel within this genre that you discovered that kind of got you interested in the first place?
Oh, that's a very long time ago. I found Coiling Dragon.
Me too! Yes!
And yeah, I just fell in love with it instantly. I read all the chapters that were out at that time, and I couldn't stop reading it.
And then, what connected you with it? Like when you read it, what really spoke out to you to make you be such a fan?
I think it was the constant pursuit of being stronger. That he was not gifted at the start. He had to work really hard to get where he was. And then I just really liked the whole mythology, all the mythical beasts and all the magic.
Yeah,
it was amazing.
They do a really good job of world building in that story, and connecting you with all of of course, the turtle and the dragons, and I think Coiling Dragon is one of the best examples of using those for imagery's sake and having, you know, the Martin and everything. So I thought it was really good as well. That's the same novel that really got me interested in these. So from discovering Coiling Dragon to now starting your own novel, what was that process, and what made you be like, well, maybe I should write one of these?
It was I just continued reading everything that was available at that time. There wasn't really a lot, so I just read everything really, and then I started having all these ideas of my own. I couldn't really figure out what to do with them, and then one day I just sat down and started making a plot line and was like, so this could happen in my story, and I want this to happen, and if that happened, it would be awesome. And eventually I had a whole story written out. I just needed to sit down and write the actual words. So I took the time and started writing, and it was amazing. It was making a world of my own was really way more amazing than I expected it to be.
And that was Blue Phoenix, correct?
That was Blue Phoenix, yeah.
So how long was the pre-production process? Like, how long did you spend creating that foundation and creating the storyboard before you filled in all the blanks?
3 months.
Wow. And was there anything that changed between when you did that to when you started writing it and how the fans reacted? Did you change anything, or was it pretty much the solid story that you had in mind from start to finish?
Originally, I didn't plan it to be a harem. I was planning it to be only one true love. But then I fell in love with the characters, and I just really wanted them to reach the same emotions that the one true character got. So I did change that, but other than that, I have pretty much stuck with my original ideas.
What was the hardest thing that blocked you from starting it?
I think the hardest was that I was really afraid if people would enjoy it. I wrote for myself at the start. I didn't really expect anyone to like it, but at the same time, I was afraid that people would laugh at it and say that it was a really bad attempt at writing because I'd never written anything before. I never had any experience with writing. I didn't know what I should expect. My grammar is not great either because English is not my first language, and I just had a lot of fears for how it would be received.
Mm-hmm. Well, once you started it though, did that fear kind of subside as you started releasing it? How long did you wait before you released the first chapter anyway? Did you do a release plan or was it like all at once?
My first release plan was to do 3 chapters a week, and at that point I had around 50 chapters stockpile, so that I knew I could handle these 3 chapters a week. And it went really well. It was received really well as well, and people were liking it, and I was really happy. So the fear did subside quite quickly.
How quickly did you build a readership?
Well, I was really lucky. I had an editor who was on Gravity Tales, and he helped me get into Gravity Tales, so I got a lot of their readers to start reading my story. It's really hard building a reader base if you don't have an existing reader base that can come in and give it a read. So that way I got it after like 25 chapters was when I started getting a really big reader base.
Was it difficult competing with novels that are being translated? Because you're kind of in the same space, but this is something original by you. Is there kind of a prejudice against that, or has it been kind of open arms?
There's a big prejudice against original stories. I will never be able to compete with the translated stories, and I've accepted that. I'm still really grateful for every single person who wants to read my stories. They are giving it a chance, knowing that it might not be the same quality as the Chinese stories are, but they're still giving it this chance. And I'm really grateful for that. But if we look at how many readers I have versus how many readers the translated stories have, I really have a pitiful amount of readers.
Oh, that's not good to hear. Well, I think they'll. I mean, you haven't stopped though. So I guess if you take when you started with Blue Phoenix and now where you are past Overthrowing Fate and with Condemning the Heavens, has it been definitely on a great incline in terms of how many readers you've been building?
Yes, it has been steadily increasing over the years. I've been writing since 2015, so it's been quite a long time now. And from the beginning, I had a few very steady readers, and now I have a lot of readers, and it's still climbing. I'm really happy that I've been given this chance where I can get a lot of readers to enjoy my stories, because as long as they enjoy it, I know that I will continue enjoying writing it as well.
Another interesting thing is that because you do an original work, there's not as much red tape when you're putting your novel out on Amazon and publishing it. Was it difficult to find a publisher to find this, to put it out in paperback on Amazon, and how has the response on Amazon been?
Amazon does the paperback releases as well, so you don't really need any finances for doing that. But people are not buying them as paperbacks. I've sold a very few amount of paperback books, but there is a lot of people who supports me and who buys them, and I do get new readers from Amazon as well, who then read at the back of the book where I write you can read the rest for free on Wuxia, and then they join Wuxia to go and see where are these new chapters that they haven't read yet. So I'm getting a lot of readers from Amazon, and a lot of my readers from Wuxia are also buying on Amazon.
Is it weird selling something that people can get online for free?
Well, that was my initial thought, because it actually took me almost a year before I started selling them on Amazon, because I didn't really think that anyone would buy them, but my readers continued to ask if they could support me with it, and they really wanted to have it on their Kindle, or they wanted to have it on their phone so that it was easy to read, and eventually I decided to try it out, and I found that a lot of people really are supporting me this way, and it's different from, for instance, Patreon, where you're paying a subscription. Here, you can just choose to pay for one book. Maybe every 2 months when I release a book, you give me $5. It's not as much as if you are a Patreon. So that way, a lot of people see it as a good way to support, and I'm very, very, very grateful for that.
I did pull some of the character art that you posted in the Discord channel. So we're gonna roll through a few of those for the watchers on YouTube right now. But I pulled the pictures of the characters. So of course we have Shu Wei, we have Chu Hian, Xiaolei, Hegu, is it Len? I haven't read far enough. And Wang Xiaoyun. So
Yeah.
a lot of this concept art you have is pretty high quality. It looks great. But even when I reached out to some concept artists, they don't do it cheaply. What motivates you to keep getting more and more concept art for the novels that you're doing?
Well, that's because I really like having concept art. I use them. For instance, I go to some conventions where I have printouts that I hand out to people to see if I can get them to be more interested in the story. I have flyers, but I also make merchandise for my patrons. Those who support me with a specific amount, they get merchandise every single month. And I need art for that. So I make a lot of art, and I think that people will enjoy watching the art as well, just as much as I do, to see what does the characters actually look like. One thing is what you envision in your head, but another thing is to have the actual art on paper to say, oh, so that's what they look like. It will make it easier when you're reading the story.
Isn't it like pretty expensive, or do you feel like the cost just is justified by the usefulness of it?
I feel like the cost is justified by the usefulness of it. I feel like it's really worth it because it also helps me when I'm writing, having them, and also the entire process of having to describe what is it actually I want to have you drawing for me. Is a process where I need to think and really describe, and then I can use that description when I'm writing the book as well, and I can use it when I'm looking at the characters. If I suddenly feel like there's something I need to describe, then I know exactly what they look like, and that's a great help.
And you offer art on your Patreon, correct? Like an exclusive looks for ones you haven't released yet?
Yeah.
Cool. So people should definitely check out your Patreon, support you through there. I am curious though. You're now 3 novels in. The current release is, let's see, chapter for Condemning the Heavens. We're on chapter. Let me just look at it. Sorry, 149, 150 was. Oh, we're just hit 150 for the public release for Condemning the Heavens. What's been the biggest difference between when you were writing Blue Phoenix and when you were writing Overthrowing Fate and now Condemning the Heavens? Is it just the knowledge you've gained from writing those, or has it just been a different? Does it really feel like a different flavor as you write?
It feels really different. Blue Phoenix was a very light read. It was very much about this guy who wanted to help his friend get revenge. He wanted to reunite with a good friend of his. But it was very light. It was he was a good boy. He would do everything the best way he could. Obviously, there would be some situations where he would be mad, but usually he would be very good. Whereas in Condemning the Heavens, the main character is not a good person as such. He wanted to be a good person, but a lot of things have happened to him which has changed his view on reality. So I would say that Condemning the Heavens is a lot darker than Blue Phoenix was, and to write that has been a challenge. It really has been a challenge for me. I'm finding it really interesting, to be honest. I can't really write it easily as I could with Blue Phoenix, but at the same time, I feel that my skill as a writer is constantly increasing because I keep on challenging myself to write something I'm not familiar with.
What's been your favorite experience so far? Are you really enjoying Condemning the Heavens, or has it just?
I am.
Yeah.
Blue Phoenix will always have a really special place in my heart because it was the first thing I ever wrote, and it was a really long process. It took me 2 years, almost 2.5 years to write it, and I wrote every single day. So Blue Phoenix will be very special, but as it is, as a story, I think I like Condemning the Heavens better than I like Blue Phoenix, because now I have had more experience and more time to actually make the story. Where I spent 3 months preparing Blue Phoenix, I spent a year preparing Condemning the Heavens.
Wow.
So it's very different, the way I look at the two stories.
How many chapters do you think Condemning the Heavens is going to work out to in the end?
Around 1,000.
Around 1,000?
Yeah.
Wow. And that's how many books do you think that is that you'd split it up?
Around 16 to 20 books.
Wow. You Harry Potter ain't got nothing on you.
Yeah, it's a lot of books, especially when compared to the Western fantasy scene, but it's not too much when we compare it to the Eastern fantasy that we are inspired by, so I'm not taking it too badly.
Is there a reason that Overthrowing Fate was shorter than Blue Phoenix, and now this new project is a lot longer? Did you just kind of want to get it over with, or was it just kind of that was the story and that's how it ended?
There were multiple things with Overthrowing Fate. First of all, I was not the one who started Overthrowing Fate. Overthrowing Fate was started by a friend of mine who suddenly stopped, and then I took over.
Oh.
And then I found out that writing two stories at the same time was too much for me, and I was also very sick at that time. And then I had to prioritize Blue Phoenix. My plan was to finish Overthrowing Fate the way it seemed natural, because the character wanted revenge. He wanted nothing more. So when he got his revenge, he wanted a happy life, and that's what he got. But Overthrowing Fate is not done. When I'm done with Condemning the Heavens, there will be a sequel to Overthrowing Fate, which will follow his son. The summary has already been published and announced, so I just need to write it, but that's for another time.
That's for a few years from now then, probably, right?
Yes. Yes.
One thing at a time. I can't imagine having, like, it's confusing enough to read 8 novels at the same time, let alone, I don't know how it would be if somebody was writing multiple at the same time. I don't know if you'd be able to even do that.
I can't. I tried writing too, but because I got really sick, it was just impossible to keep it up.
So my next question was going to be, have you thought of the idea of creating sequels for your previously finished novels? So that's great. Yeah, so people can look forward to that. Is there any, like, what's a concept that you have yet to work with in any of your books that you're really interested in trying out that you haven't yet?
I would really like to write something where the main character is a demon. Like, not a human race, but a demon of some kind. That's really bloodthirsty, but I'm very hesitant to do it because I'm already challenged enough with a character that's not completely good. So if I have to write about a really evil character, then I fear I would be really challenged.
The more evil it is, the less you connect to it. Is that
yes.
it?
Yes.
I mean, I hope that's the case, because if you're writing about something really evil and you connect to it too well, that might not be the best precursor.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time connecting to them, so it is really challenging to write. But at the same time, I'm kind of drawn to those characters who think of only themselves and will do anything to achieve their goals. So I do kind of want to write it at some point, but I don't think I'll ever get along with it. So it's a kind of hard situation.
Have you been able to move towards full-time writing now, or do you still have to do other work on the side to keep this going?
I'm a full-time writer.
Oh, that's awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
I know how hard that is to get into that and actually achieve that status. So that's really awesome. What's your
Yeah, it took a long time and it was really hard, but I'm very, very proud of it now.
What if you were to describe, like, why you like this web novel community? Like, what is your favorite part of the web novel community that we're in here?
Well, I think, first of all, of course, it's the stories. I love the stories; they're amazing. But also the people I have interacted with so far. All of them has been extremely friendly and helped me in every way possible that they could. I've been so well received, even though that a lot of the readers are not too keen on original content. I've not met a lot of haters either. Everyone is really considerate, and if they don't have anything good to say, they don't say it, or if they have some criticism, they say it in a really gentle way. So I think that the people are really a huge part of the community that makes me really proud of it.
So one of the things I was curious about is you're Danish, right? You're from Denmark.
Yeah.
That's already a huge language barrier for anything English. And then you're taking Chinese novels that are translated in English, and then you're reading those. Has it been difficult to kind of like connect with a lot of the stuff, or is it just like something you've trained, or you're so fluent in English? Because you sound very fluent in English. And I'm also curious, like, are there other people in Denmark who are super into this genre, or is it kind of, are you like the lone island sitting in the ocean?
Well, first of all, my daughter is half Chinese, and I have been studying Chinese for some time now.
Wow.
So that has helped me a lot with understanding the Chinese culture and with understanding how to pronounce words and finding names and so on. So that has been a huge help. Alongside my teacher has helped me a lot. In Denmark, we are quite a few people who likes the genre. In my team alone, my editor is Danish and my proofreader is Danish. So I'm not all alone. And my book is also being translated into Danish at the moment. So we are hoping that a lot of people are going to enjoy reading it in Denmark as well.
That's really awesome. That's cool. It's like I mean, I'm in Los Angeles and I can't seem to find anyone in person who actually is into the same stuff as this. So that's actually really cool that you have a whole team that's on board.
Yeah, well, we are not that many people in Denmark, so it's not that hard to find them.
So what are you looking forward to most this year? Because as we finish up, I mean, towards the end of 2018, you're probably going to get to what, chapter 450, maybe 300 to 400 in Condemning the Heavens. Are you just kind of going to buckle down and work on that for the next few years, or is there something that you're excited about? Are you reading any other novels right now? Are you trying to promote anything or appearances at cons or anything?
Well, I'm trying to get Blue Phoenix translated into a few languages. But other than that, I want to focus on Condemning the Heavens. I want to write as many chapters as I can and hopefully increase my release rate. I've had a bit of a wonky release rate the last 2 months because of some family issues. So now I need to make mass releases, and that's going to take a long time, so I'm going to write a lot of chapters.
And are you going to do any appearances soon? I know you talked about having the art when you bring it with you to sign it or to sell it. Are you going to be in the States, or are you going to make appearances at anywhere soon?
Yeah, but they're in Denmark. It's at different conventions here in Denmark. I was supposed to go to one here in August, but I had to cancel it. So I'm going to two next year, and that's going to be amazing, I'm sure.
Great. Do you have anything else you want to promote, or is Condemning the Heavens really the thing that fans need to check out? They need to go to your Patreon to catch you and, you know, support you. And I know your Twitter account's not too active, but they also can check you out on Discord. And your Discord is TinaLynge number 2046.
Yeah. Well, I hope that they will try my stories, give them a chance, and not be too prejudiced. That's about it, really.
Well, luckily, I think the fans of this podcast, at least, have been very supportive. I really appreciate all of them for, of course, subscribing on YouTube, liking the videos, and sharing. And I think everyone's really just a big fan of people who love the content and want to create something themselves. So I think it's a really cool community, and it's really great that they've been supporting you so far. And I only hope to have years and years of more support for you in this genre.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you so much for coming on, Tina, and I'll have to catch up on Condemning and maybe have you back soon so we can talk real talk with this story.
That would be nice.
All right, I'll talk to you later. Thanks.
Thank you.
So that was really cool, guys. That was live, of course, if you're watching right now. Obviously, if you have more questions for Tina, you can hit her up on our Discord, or you can check out the Patreon. Again, that's patreon.com/TinaLynge, TinaLynge. It's really cool hearing about a lot of that stuff, because it kind of like, you got to look at yourself now, because a lot of us read anywhere from 4 to 12 of these novels. And, you know, that's how she started, was just reading and loving it so much. She's like, okay, well, let me create my own novel, writing it down, creating the format, creating the story. And this is, she said she started in 2015. It's 2018 now. She's on her third novel and already is writing full time and supporting herself, and has a fan base and has all this great support from you guys. So it is kind of a cool inspiration. So I hope that you guys get a good feels from that. And if you're thinking about trying to start doing something like that, or trying to start writing a novel, like, sit down, think out your thoughts, try to put it on paper, try to get something out, because like, you might as well. I think in my mind, my biggest thing right now is I'd love to do a Xianxia web series. It'd be great. It's just the stories have so much exposition. I haven't really found out a way to do it, but I'm in Hollywood. Like, it'd be kind of simple to film something. So if you guys have ideas for shorts or anything like that, let me know. I might be down to film something out here.